Well, folks, in today's video, we visit the Hobby House located in Ottawa, Ontario. This is a store which I've done some tours of in the past, and I've got to say it's a place that I really enjoy visiting. It's pretty much the train store which started me off in the hobby all the way back in 2007, so this is, back when I was a kid where I got all the original track and buildings for my layout. And I've got to say, even to this day, it's still a place that I really enjoy kind of going into every once in a while and seeing if they have anything new. I hadn't been here for about a month, so I was pretty curious to see what they had, and I figured, why not bring all of you along for the tour? So here we are, obviously inside the store. They have a locomotive display case, and pretty much everything in here is new in the box as far as I know. They've got a variety of different brands. You can see we've got Walters Mainline, Walters Trainline, Rapido, Kato, some Bachmann, Atlas, quite a variety of different brands, quite a variety of different road names, and a lot of different types of locomotives. We've got a couple Bachmann trolleys. We got a new one and an older new in the box one. And we've got a Bachmann steam engine, some Proto 1000 Bud cars, and over to this side we got some more steam engines from Athearn. This is their N scale section. You can see they've got a little bit of rolling stock here and a variety of different locomotive brands. A lot of Atlas in their N scale section, I find. Over towards the top they do have some other brands, including Bachmann and Rapido, however. I'm generally not too big a collector of N-scale pieces of equipment, but I always like looking over the display case to see exactly what they have. They did have a fair amount of different N-scale engines. A lot of them were CN, which I thought was kind of interesting. CN's my favorite railroad, so seeing a whole bunch of CN engines in the display case is really never a bad thing. So yeah, I think we got another different paint scheme from Broadway Limited there, also CN. And this part of the store is generally just where you get like a lot of like landscaping things, trees, rocks, grass, etc. Over here they also had a few more locomotives which I decided to show all of you. We've got an Athearn switcher locomotive at the bottom here, and on top of that we got a couple Atlas locomotives. We got an NYC one of some sort, a Long Island, I believe that one is. And we've also got a Canadian Pacific AB set, which looks kind of nice, from Athearn Roundhouse. And just below that, we've got an old Bachmann F unit in used condition. I don't know exactly what it was about this particular locomotive, but there was this one CN engine in the display case which kind of caught my eye, so I decided to ask the shop owner if I could have a closer look at it. So he came over and opened up the display case and pulled it out for a small test run. They have a little test track here, so basically if there's a piece of equipment you see in the display case and you want to see kind of how it performs, they can actually take it out and run it for you, which is sort of nice.
Yes, it has DCC in it. I'm just running it off front drive.
So that's about it for the shop tour. There was one more thing which I wanted to show everybody, however, which is the little HO scale layout they have up at the front of the store. This is a really nice little layout. It's not terribly big, but I really like all the detail on it. And I've seen this layout again for over 12 years. But this is the very first time I've really had a super close look at it, and it's amazing how many details you can miss when you don't have a really good look at something. So I was noticing a lot of things, like I've never noticed that there's like a little farm in the corner, and right below here they've actually got some horseback riders and stuff. Just a lot of really nice little details which I find really bring a layout to life. And it really goes to show you really don't have to have the largest layout out there to have something which can be impressive. I mean, just look at this. Every piece of space has been used. Even this little wall, you know, they decided to put some ads up, and you've got a whole bunch of different things going on. Like this over here, they've got camp scene, and just a lot of small things that if you look really carefully you can spot. There's another detail I never noticed, a little cottage on top of the hill. And check this out right here, they actually have a model of the HO scale train store which we're in right now. I think that that's pretty interesting. I was kind of surprised to see one of the stores they had was Bon-Ton. We don't have Bon-Ton here in Canada, but I know out in the United States I've seen those in Pennsylvania, and I think there was one in Maine too. But yeah, just another detail that I've never noticed before. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the shop tour. Now I'm going to show you all exactly what I decided to buy. It's sort of unusual, but overall, I'm happy with my purchases. Well, I'm now home, and I have most of the things I bought. I did get some, like, scenery and stuff of that sort. You know, like some rocks and a bit of scenic grass and stuff like that. So I already have got that actually put to use. But I do have two items, one of which you'll probably know what it is. The other one is a bit of a surprise. Funny story behind it, I'll tell you. But first, let's have a look at the one you probably do know about. It's not that one. So it is, of course, this thing. I don't know what it was about this locomotive. I'm typically not a whole lot of a collector of N-scale stuff, but I just really liked the look of this particular engine. And as of recently, too, I want to kind of expand the N-scale collection just a little bit. And I wanted to have some newer stuff, just so like my HO collection, I got a bit of a blend of older and newer stuff. Having a few just really reliable modern locomotives is not a bad thing. So yeah, I just thought, hey, this is a cool looking locomotive. $160 for a DCC equipped N-scale engine from Atlas. It just doesn't seem too bad to me. So yeah, why not? So I decided to pick it up, and well, here it is. It's a pretty sharp little number there. I don't have a DCC on the N-scale layout. I guess I could throw my old Bachmann controller on it, although without any switches, I don't see too much of the point of that other than, I guess, some lighting functions. But yeah, here it is. Really sharp, sharp little locomotive. They did a great job with this. So yeah, there's that. Now here's the other thing, and this has a bit of a funny story behind it. Which I'll explain in a moment here, but first I'll show you what it is. It is actually another N-scale engine, and it's a pretty nice one by the looks of it. Here it is. It's a Canadian Pacific of some sort. I don't actually know the specific model of it. It's an SD60, so I don't know a whole lot about SD60s, but it's a pretty fancy engine. It's also an Atlas, and here it is. I got this engine for free. Now, what happened was I was walking around the store. It was not long after I said I was going to purchase this thing. This customer walks in, and he has some sort of a discussion with the owner. And hands him this, and I guess he bought this locomotive and it just has not been working out for him. He's been trying to get it working properly or something like that, and it's been giving him a lot of trouble, so he just decided to return it to the store. And the owner of the store came up to me and he said, I know, you mostly model HO, but do you have an N-scale layout? And I said, yeah, I do. And he said, you want a free locomotive? And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. And so he handed this to me, and I was like, yeah, you sure you don't want even like $20 for it? And he said no. So yeah, super generous. Got this really fancy engine. Now apparently it does have some problems, and the original owner didn't like it because it wouldn't handle their curves. So I don't know if it's going to work on my layout or not, but I mean, for a free engine, that's pretty nice. So yeah, really quite something special. So we'll see what we can do with that. But yeah, I got two engines from the top two Canadian railroads. Not bad. Anyway, why don't we take these things over to the track? We'll test them out. I mean, we already tested this one at the store, so, you know, I got an idea of how it performs, but this one's a bit of a mystery, so it should be interesting. Let's do it. Okay, let's test out our new locomotive, see exactly what we've got here. I hope this thing can handle the curves on this layout. I know they're not exactly optimal for an engine of its size, but hopefully we'll all work out. I'm giving it power right now. It's a little bit sluggish. This thing might actually need a little bit of oil. I don't know how long it was sitting in a display case, but even brand new engines, if they've been sitting for a long time, you know, the lubricants can leak out of a locomotive, so you always have to be mindful of that. But I mean, yeah, it's not running too bad. It's pretty smooth. Really, I really like the looks of this engine. Really, really nice addition, I think, to the N-Scale collection. So yeah, very happy with my new purchase. Now let's test out that other locomotive and see what we got going on there. I do also, by the way, want to work on the N-Scale layout. I'm not very happy with how it's looking at the moment for obvious reasons. First, I just want to get this whole thing functional, but eventually I do want to work on the cosmetics of it. There's just so much happening right now. I just haven't had time to work on it, and it's just frankly not a priority. But by the end of this year, I want to have this looking a bit better. So that's something to aim for. Anyway, here is the Canadian Pacific locomotive. Now apparently this thing had problems with curves, so if it will handle these, it should be something that's interesting to see. But proof of the pudding is written on the label, I believe, as they say, or proof is in the pudding. This is probably the right quote. Watching the Red Green show too much. Yeah, I don't think this thing is going to handle these curves. Well, maybe, I don't know. That's really peculiar. I'm giving it a lot of power right now. It's not reacting. This is supposedly a DCC engine. It might not be DC compatible. So either that or there's something the matter with it. I don't know which. I'll try flipping the direction. I don't think that that's going to make any difference though. Yeah, this thing does not seem to want to fire up. Well, I guess this is not a runner. It's a project, but still, I mean, it was a free locomotive. You really can't complain with that, and it is a really nice looking engine nonetheless. So either I'll just have to try this thing out with the DCC controller, or we'll have to play around with it and see if we can get it to fire up on DC. I really don't know what the situation is. I haven't worked on a lot of N-Scale engines, and I'm not as familiar with DCC equipment as I am DC, so this one might be a bit more of a challenge, but it's definitely a really good start to something good. So yeah, that will be something to work on in the future. Well, I think that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm quite happy with both of my new locomotives. Overall, it was a good visit to the hobby store. It was good getting to go back there. It was the first time in a bit of time. And yeah, I think I made off with a good purchase and a very nice little gift. Anyways, with that, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching.